Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanacharya. Yamunatira Vanacharya. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Lord Premanandi, Hari Bol. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasta Prayesha Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Who would like to say the translation? Yeah. Yeah, and the next verse, Nasta Prayesha Vadresha. Jai, thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 2, texts 14 and 15. Pritavaseshu Goreshu Pretairabhuta Ganairbhritaha Atati Ummatavan Magno Vyuptakesho Hasandrudan Pritavaseshu Goreshu Pretairabhuta Ganairbhritaha Atati ummattavannagno Vyuptakesho hasanruda
Pretavaseshu Goreshu Pretar Bhuta Ganarvataha Atatyum Mattavannagno Yuptakesho Hasanrudan Pretavaseshu Goreshu Pretar Bhuta Ganarvataha Vedavaseshu Goreshu Vedad Bhuta Ganayapataha Atyamatnamnagno Yukakesho Sanrudan
Preta avaseshu at the burning place of dead bodies. Goreshu, horrible. I saw once a caricature. One man passing nearby the temple, he said, here the devotees chanting, Haribol, Haribol. All these people are very negative, chanting, horrible, horrible. Pretai, by the pretas. Bhutaganai, by the bhutas. Brita, accompanied by. Atati, he wanders. Ummattavat, like a madman. Nagna, naked. Vyuptakesha, having scattered hair. Asan, laughing. Rudan, crying. Let me read the next verse. Chittavasma kritasnana pretasran narasti bhushana Shiva padeshu hi ashivo mattumatta janapriya pati pramatta natanam tamo matrat makatmanam. Translation. He lives in filthy places like crematoriums, and his companions are the ghosts and demons. Naked like a madman, sometimes laughing and sometimes crying, he smears crematorium ashes all over his body. He does not bathe regularly, and he ornaments his body with a garland of skulls and bones. Therefore, only in name is he Shiva, or auspicious. Actually, he is the most mad and inauspicious creature. Thus, he is very dear to crazy beings in the gross mode of ignorance, and he is their leader. Purport. Those who do not regularly bath are supposed to be in association with ghosts and crazy creatures. Lord Shiva appeared to be like that, but his name, Shiva, is actually fitting, for he is very kind to persons who are in the darkness of the mode of ignorance, such as unclean drunkards who do not regularly bath. Lord Shiva is so kind that he gives shelter to such creatures and gradually elevates them to spiritual consciousness. Although it is very difficult to raise such creatures to spiritual understanding, Lord Shiva takes charge of them, and therefore, as stated in the Vedas, Lord Shiva is all auspicious. Thus, by his association, even such fallen souls can be elevated. Sometimes it is seen that great personalities meet with fallen souls, not for any personal interest, but for the benefit of those souls. In the creation of the Lord, there are different kinds of living creatures. Some of them are in the mode of goodness, some are in the mode of passion, and some are in the mode of ignorance. Lord Vishnu takes charge of persons who are advanced in Krishna, who are advanced Krishna conscious Vaishnavas. And Lord Brahma takes charge of persons who are very much attached to material activities. But Lord Shiva is so kind that he takes charge of persons who are in gross ignorance and whose behavior is lower than that of the animals. Therefore, Lord Shiva is especially called auspicious. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Well, definitely Daksha is very good at fault finding. He's very expert. He's very expert not just in procreation as one of the Prajapati, but he's very good at fault finding. I mean, he really thought it over before speaking, you know. Because everything he's saying, it is true. Lord Shiva behaves like that. He's not lying. Or making up stories about somebody because he doesn't like him. But no, he's saying that he is act like that, but he doesn't understand why. That is his problem. So that's very important thing. Why people do what they do, and for what reasons. That's the most important part of everything, the intention. So Lord Shiva's so to speak, weird behavior, because he's avaduta, he's above rules and regulation. He doesn't behave like a normal devotee, so to speak, you know, Vaishnava tilak or dress or like that. No, he's different. One thing is very important to know is that although Lord Shiva takes charge of the mode of ignorance, he is not under the mode of ignorance. Although his behavior may look like that, he is not. Because the reason he behaves like that, because he's in charge of those fallen souls who are completely in the mode of ignorance. So to attract them to him, he behaves in such a way that they will be attracted to follow him. And by his association, they will be benefited. He will help them to get the human body if they are ghosts. So, and there are many stories like that, how Lord Shiva helped many fallen souls. There was one devotee of Lord Shiva who was a demon. And he was worshipping Lord Shiva for a special boon. But he wanted Lord Shiva to appear in front of him. So he was cutting flesh from his own body and throw it into the fire, yagya. Anybody remember of the name of the demon? Brikasura. So, seeing that Lord Shiva will not appear, he decided to chop off his head and throw it into the fire. And when he was going to do that, Lord Shiva was so compassionate, he didn't want the demon to kill himself, so he appeared. And he stopped him. Rascal, stop. What do you want from me? Ask me anything, I will give it to you. Stop torturing your body. You know, torturing the body disturbs Paramatma, it's in the heart. So severe austerities are not recommended. That damage the body, you know. In the Middle Ages, some Christian priests, they will what they do? Self-flagellation, you know, to control the lust, probably, you know. But the mind is not going to change just by torturing your body, you know. The thing is to get a higher taste, param drishtva nivartate, you know. That's the process. Anyway, so Lord Shiva told the demon, ask me what you want. And the demon, are you going to give me anything I want? Yes, yes, but stop torturing yourself. Okay. I want the boon that whoever I touch his head will explode in 1,000 pieces. Then Lord Shiva regretted, but he already gave his word, so he could not go back. So I said, okay, so be it. And Brikasura thought, oh, Shiva has a very beautiful wife, Gauri. She's very, very fair, very beautiful. Let me touch his head and keep his wife for myself. Such mentality, no? I mean, he gave him the boon, and then he wanted to use it against him. Yes, so ungrateful, so ungrateful. So Lord Shiva has to fly for his life, you know. He was running here and there, and the demon after him, all over different planets in the universe. Finally, they arrived in Svetadvip, the planet where Dhruva Maharaj and Paramatma reside. So Lord Shiva came at the shore of the Milk Ocean and was praying, you know, please Lord, protect me. So Lord Chirakashaya Vishnu appeared as a brahmachari and told him, don't worry, I will take care of this. So the demon came running, looking here and there. And Vishnu, the brahmachari, asked him, oh, you are the son of that person, aren't you? He knew the name of his father. So he said, oh, you know my father? Yes, yes. Okay, so now he wanted to listen, you know. So why are you running like this, you know? Well, he explained, but you know the body is very important. You shouldn't over-exercise your body. The body is made for sense gratification. You have to preserve it, you know. So sit down for a little while, take rest, you know. Let us talk calmly, you know, what is the problem? So then, after he explained everything, Lord Vishnu started to laugh. Why are you laughing? This is a very serious matter. I have to find Shiva. No, you don't understand. Lord Shiva has tricked you. He made you believe that it is true he gave you this boon, but it's false. He's just laughing at you. Really, the demon has to start doubting. Maybe it is true. Okay, to clear completely out your doubt, just touch your head, see nothing will happen. I promise you, nothing will happen to you. Demon became bewildered by the Maya of Lord Vishnu. Touch his head, plum, exploded. So Lord Vishnu told Lord Shiva, from now on, please be very careful what boons you give to the demons. Better don't give any boons to any demon. Yes, I will try my best, Lord. Thank you for saving me. I had an experience some years ago when I was brahmachari. I was traveling Sankirtan party in South America, Venezuela. In Easter time, we went to a mountain where all the ghost worshippers and shamans and, you know, all kind of witches, and they go. Venezuela, sorry. So the name of the mountain is Sorte. And all kinds of ghost worshippers and, you know, healing people with, you know, all kind of things. So in Easter time, it's filled up all the mountain with those kind of people, and, you know, people who goes there to be healed, whatever. Of course, they are in mode of ignorance. I saw them chopping the head of a chicken to offer to their, you know, picture of their ghost, and offer liquor and tobacco and all these things, you know. So we camped there with many boxes of Bhagavad Gita. Our idea was to do Sankirtan in that mountain. We were very brave, actually. And at night we will do a fire campfire. We have a big kirtan. All the kirtan will attract all the, even you could see the ghost, you know. And then we gave a lecture. So I was giving one night a lecture. I told them, you should not worship the Bhutas, because if you die you will go to them. And if you worship God, Krishna, then you will go to him. That's what it said in Bhagavad Gita. So stop worshiping the Buddha and start chanting Hare Krishna. To my amazement, many of the ghost worshippers tried buying Bhagavad Gitas, and reading it. We stayed 1 week, the full week. I mean, then what happened is we were on our camp, on our tent, and the leader of all these people hear that we are converting his followers and selling them Bhagavad Gita. He became very upset. He collected few men with big sticks in their hand. They were coming for us, and we saw them coming up the hill, with angry eyes. So we started to chant Namaste prayer, Namaste Narasingaya prayer. Very loudly, They still were coming up, and they were very close. One of the devotees, he has his arm crossed like Dravida Prabhu. He opened up his arms like that, and he had a t-shirt with the face of Lord Nrsimha there. So when these people saw the face of Nrsimha and the prayer of Nrsimha, the stick fell from their hand. I don't know what they saw, but they looked frightened and they ran away. So, Jai Nrsimha there, I mean, it was a real experience, intense experience, So,
maybe they became hot. They couldn't hold their seat.
yeah, who knows? I mean, I don't know. So, yes. Who? Which story is that?
I can tell. Go ahead.
Do I know? Okay. Ah? Ah, Nair. Okay. From Bombay. Ah, okay. Somebody has to tell it. I don't think I know it. Okay. All right. Well, tell it. It's okay. I mean, no problem. Okay. Anyway, when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur found a house, very cheap rent, it was haunted, So he put one brahmachari to read srimadbhagavatam to purify the place. And he was next to the brahmachari. So brahmachari was reading Bhagavatam, and suddenly, out of thin air, a skeleton hand appeared in front of the brahmachari. When brahmachari saw that, he fainted. He was so frightened, he fainted. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta wake him up. Wake up! Keep chanting Srimad Bhagavatam. And the brahmachari all frightened, reading the Bhagavatam, looking here and there. Yeah.
So nobody would buy it. It's a good price for the location. Devotees ask for us, that's pretty much ask for our product. So get it, have a great time. It goes to the way.
Yeah, it's true.
Prabhupada had that factory that he bought.
Yeah. Also, Prabhupada also got the house which was haunted. His family didn't want to live in it because it was famous, haunted. Nobody will rent, nobody will buy. But so cheap, Prabhupada took it. And Prabhupada said, I was chanting and I saw things flying around, the pots and the cups and candles going in and there. He didn't mind, he kept chanting, When Prabhupada stayed at the house of John Lennon, with a stick he was doing like, Prabhupada, what you're doing? Oh, chasing out some ghost, The house was full of ghosts. But, yeah. Chasing them out. We had in the Caracas temple called the ghost room. It was a tiny room. We put the blankets and mattresses and things. So sometime if Machari wanted to sleep without anybody notice, we'll hide beneath that to sleep, during the day. And always will be haunted. for sure. I mean, there was no way to escape it. So we see that the mode of ignorance, Prabhupada explaining here that people who don't take bath regularly and who are drunkard and very prone to be haunted by ghosts, very influenced by ghosts. So sometimes even in temples we see sometimes some ghost influence, at least for some time, and some temples maybe. Why the ghosts are attracted to temples, by the way? Because they want, to some shelter, they're looking for some relief, and of course, I mean to say, if one has to lose fear of ghosts, because they what do you know? They nourish on that, on the fear. If somebody rather feel compassion and preach to them, even in the mind. I mean, I had one experience like that. Like they go away. Just order them, go away. Don't disturb here anymore. They understand. Prabhupada explained, ghosts are like you and me, but they don't have gross body, that's all. They want the gross body to enjoy the senses. And because they can't enjoy without the gross body, they try to disturb those who are embodied. So through nightmares or things like that, or any kind of disturbances. But in the story of Putana, Prabhupada explains that when the names of the Lord, the glories of the Lord are chanted, that place can't that happen. There was one real story that happened in Italy some years ago. The family of one devotee, their house was haunted, and they tried everything that the ghost will not go, no matter what. They brought priests, they brought Buddhist monk, they brought anyone, tried to, nothing happened. So they called their daughter, which was the Krishna devotee, and she was in Rome, so she agreed to help. She came in a van with more devotees, and they started to do kirtan all over the house, room by room, blowing conch shell, lighting incense, chanting their Singha mantra, Hare Krishna mantra. But the ghost became more disturbed. It started becoming violent, throwing things even during the day, at people and like that. So they made 24-hour turn kirtan. Two devotees will stay awake chanting, And after a week, the ghost became so angry, he grabbed the girl, the devotee, and was taking her through the walls. I mean, her body was moving through the walls, but she kept chanting loudly the mantra, Finally, the ghost gave up. He left. He said, these people, I can't against them, So, I had a personal experience when I joined the movement. One of my nephew, he got ghost hunted. And they tried also, different exorcism and things. Nothing worked. So they went to see a shaman, and that shaman helped them to find the temple. Because when I moved to the temple, I forgot to give them the temple address. And suddenly they appeared after a few weeks, and I asked them how you found the temple address. I forgot to give it to you. They lived in another town, 2 hours from the temple. And my sister told me, well, we went to see shaman, psychic, and by seeing your picture, he sent the ghost. That's how we found the temple. So, far out. That's good that he did some service, brought it to the temple. So they went to see that same man for help, But what they didn't know, that this man had a devotee friend, and he was reading Prabhupada books and started chanting Hare Krishna. So when they asked him for help, he recommended the Mahamantra therapy for all the family along with the boy, So they would sit down, chant the Mahamantra for hours, And after a week, the boy get better, and they were happy. They came to the temple to to show their gratitude to Krishna, and everything. It became very favorable, actually. They were not before, not so much. So Lord Shiva, I mean to say, there is an explanation why he also behaves like that. First of all, although he stays in crematoriums and he smears the ashes of the dead over his body, he doesn't put the ashes of anyone, no, only of Vaishnavas he put on his body, these ashes. And even the bones and skulls on his neck as a garland are also from Vaishnavas. And the cobras around his neck and arms, they are also great sages who took that form just to keep his company. Like that. So, and he laughs because when he remembers Krishna, he becomes ecstatic and he starts to laugh like a madman. When he feels Krishna's separation, start to cry. So of course, this kind of behavior for a materialist like Daksha is very weird. He could not. I mean, even people we know, they see devotees are crazy. They think devotees are crazy just because of their appearance. At the beginning of the movement, once Prabhupada asked one devotee to get him a toothbrush, from eucalyptus tree. Prabhupada used neem in India, but in the West, eucalyptus was available. So this devotee went at midnight to the park, and nearby park, and he has a knife. He was on the branch cutting a little twig for Prabhupada, and the policeman was around with a flashlight. He looked at him. "What are you doing up in that tree?" "Well, I'm cutting a toothbrush for my spiritual master." "What?" He called immediately. He took him to the sanitarium. The devotee later have to take him out. And after that incident, Prabhupada wrote the article, "Who's crazy?" Anyway, I mean, I've seen crazy people becoming devotees and become normal after some time, Yeah, sometimes because of offenses, one may get even worse if one is not careful, But I remember one man who joined the temple. We called him this square japa man because he would make a square walking, but backward. He would walk backward, making a square while chanting japa. And then he became so normal. He became one of the best Sankirtan distributors, and now he's temple president in Venezuela. He's our temple president now. I mean to say, and we had one who will climb a tree, and he will not eat. So the devotee will take prasad to the tree. "Please take prasad." So, and he was gonna eat, and he put his back. "No, Paramatma told me not to eat today." And then he became temple president later on. I mean, he became but he was normal, completely normal person. He was a good leader actually. He cared for the devotees. I mean to say. I know Prabhupada said no crazies or lazies in the temple, but the devotee will think, "Oh, okay, let's be merciful and give them a chance." I remember I was in the 90s. I was taking care of the Bhakti program in Los Angeles, and sometimes some crazy people will come, and I was doubtful to allow them in the ashram. But then Swabhas Prabhu will allow them to. I know, but then he will ask me to kick them out. He will allow them in, then he asked me to kick them out. I got in some trouble sometime, Once two boys came from Central American country, but they are English-speaking country. What is that name? All black people country. I don't remember the name. From Central America, next to El Salvador, close to El Salvador. No. Belize. Two friends, they came, joined the temple, you know. Nice boys, you know. I mean, one of them became very good Sankirtan leader, Charu, and his friend also became good devotee. And yeah, he's very good, actually. So, I found them one morning with the light off, with the candles, sitting down chanting Om. Okay, I told them, let's go to the temple, let's chant japa, you know. They came. Then that day, they put Prabhupada's lecture, you know. They put Prabhupada lecture. I don't know if it is a Kadasi or one day in a week. They put every Sunday, put Prabhupada's lecture. And in the lecture was Prabhupada saying, you don't just sit down and say, oh, no. They looked at me. Did you put that lecture? Prabhupada preached to them, you know. Chant Radha Hare Krishna. Anyway, so, Hare Krishna. I was once in Spain. I had also the Bhakti program in Spain in the 79, you know. At that time, we will send the scores, how many bhaktas each temple. Yes, Sika points. In 1 month, I shaved 25 heads. I was like in one of the men records, you know. But we have one. Jai. Haribol. What is the name of the sannyasi? Danaviri. I was competing with him, actually. Anyway, he made a book. My name is in the book, along with the others, you know. He made this book, Fortunate Soul. Yeah, there. Anyway, we had one bhakta, crazy bhakta. He heard the lecture that prasad will purify you. No? Of course, prasad will purify you. But his understanding of how purify you, he went to the kitchen, and we have a big, you know, big pot full of yogurt, and he started to take bath in the kitchen. Inside the kitchen, he put on a gamcha and started bathing with the yogurt. The devotee came, what are you doing? Well, you said prasad purifies, so I'm taking purification, you know. I mean, I've seen so many crazy things, you know. Anyway, we would like to hear the story. Yes, please.
Dharma can tell the story. I just wanted to add something.
Yeah.
It's Dharma's story. He just told me this morning, so I don't know.
Yeah. Please.
Just as a sideline about ghosts, a short one. I mean, devotees can go on for ages about ghosts.
Yeah.
Introduce this one. Told me this one.
Yeah.
He was going door to door in Paris. He was selling books on
Yeah.
door to door. And a very wealthy area of Paris, a bunch of row houses. So he knocked on one door, and 1 out of 10 people will,
Yeah.
9 out of 10 will say, run along. So he rang on the door, maid came, said, no, they're not interested, you gotta go. So he left. 10 minutes later, whatever, he's down the street about 5 or 6 houses. The maid comes running down the street and says, come back. The master of the house wants you to come back. All right, he goes back. Turns out they were having a seance in this Parisian town. And you're all holding hands, lights off, trying to get the table to lift, and you're communing with the dead, right? This lady must have been bona fide. It was a lady meeting. She must have been bona fide because the ghost said, there's a man at the front door selling spiritual books. Buy them. It will be good for you
Wow.
and good for me. They
Wow.
said srimadbhagavatam at the encouragement of the ghost.
That's it. A good ghost, huh? Must
Ghost wanted
Lord Shiva must have helped him to take that decision, you know, for sure, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
And so he asked them what their spiritual process was. He said, well, we normally get up and we go through the body and this and that. We spend most of the day just smoking ganja. So what's your spiritual process?
That's
Sounds to me like hippies. The question I have is,
yeah,
Glory to the Vaishnavas.
yeah,
we talk about ghosts and being haunted.
yeah.
So, well, wait a second, there are, mental diseases. Be very careful.
Oh.
Yeah,
To attribute it to just being haunted, that's old stuff. I mean, it's serious mental diseases.
chemical imbalance.
Yeah, yeah. Well, very simple thing. When you tried everything on that person and didn't work, maybe you should try another alternative. Maybe you're not 100% right. You could be also wrong. It is true sometimes have a person a mental disease and it is confused by a demon or ghost. But not all the cases are like that. You have to judge case by case, you know. We have a saying in Venezuela, I don't believe in witches, but they do fly.
Mahabharata tell us the name of the devotee, the collection,
Yeah,
living in Bombay.
yeah,
Well-spoken, student classical, she was very straight. He was talking about a fence business devotee.
yeah.
Mr. Nair, Mr. N.
Yes,
The night before he had his heart attack, he was meeting with Prabhupada. He was pointing his finger at Prabhupada and actually cursing Prabhupada.
yeah, yeah,
Speaking very strongly. Prabhupada was Sundar. The next day he had his heart attack. He died.
yeah,
Mr. Nair had three friends who were actually very active with him, trying to get the devotees off of that land.
mm.
Mr. Lord mentioned them by name. One was a very, very prominent person in the education system in Bombay.
Mm.
Director, some schools and so on. And what he did, he published a little pamphlet, criticizing the devotees, all the bad stuff. He hated it, passing out all the train and bus stations.
Horrible.
But after Mr. Nair passed away, also the front pages of all the Bombay papers, he was exposed in illicit direction to all of the women.
Nair.
He had finished on it.
Oh,
Second person,
That's one demon.
that's one of them.
one of the three.
One of the three. The second one, he had a plan to go around the devotees and meet with all the Indian elders, turn them against the devotees, and take the property of the devotees, members.
Mm.
In the morning, he was scheduled to have that meeting with the right members. He goes to get out of bed and can't move. He wakes down, he's paralyzed. And he was paralyzed for 1 year. He could not move.
Wow.
The third one,
One left.
third one was a friend of Mr. Nair who was a convert. And he was there the morning that the municipality came and started knocking on the temple and grabbing the devotees, just before the preacher to stop it. And as the women were being dragged away by their hair,
Yeah, yeah.
Maliki was there, he took that out and said, you will be burned by your testimony. Prabhupada and the teachers should be ashamed of themselves. She was yelling at him.
Mm.
What happened to him was apparently sometime later he tried to curse Prabhupada, kill Prabhupada.
Wow.
And of course when you do that, it flips over. So one morning, 2 days later, the devotees heard all this screaming and yelling, and he's on the property completely on fire.
Wow.
What happened was the ghost or whatever was sent to kill Prabhupada came back and got him. He went crazy and poured kerosene all over himself and himself.
Krishna. Amazing. Yes, definitely. Huh? No, it is not there for the.
For Giriraj Maharaj's book.
Yeah, he may include it there, hopefully. It's far out stories, actually. Far out stories, yes. That's correct. I mean to say, of course, it's God, He's not disturbed by anything, but he is displeased that a person is torturing his body. The body is the instrument for devotional service, for spiritual upliftment. And if somebody is torturing the body, that is disturbing to Paramatma, not directly, but indirectly. No? So, yes. Please go ahead.
In the 70th chapter, there's all kinds of different things in the mode of goodness, fascinating. So the austerities in the mode of ignorance is extreme torture of the body, and also the soul within it. So we have got a little
Yes, please. Well, according to the Ayurveda, the shower should start with warm water and finish with cold water, so the body get accustomed to the first impression. Then you put the cold water at the end. It's healthy that way, healthier that way. No. I remember we went traveling Sankirtan when I was brahmachari in South America, Venezuela. And they lended us a house. There was no water, but in front of the house was a river. So 3 in the morning we fill buckets of icy water, up in those Andes, in the mount, and throw it like, Hare Krishna, like that. So next to our house, there was a group of people who were following a guru. They were all impersonalists, Mayavadis. And they start coming to our Mongol Arti every day, So their guru, he called himself Jesus. That was his actual name, Jesus. But he will dress like Jesus, And he has a long blonde hair and blue eyes. And
Had a beard, has to have a beard.
no beard. He was a young man, So, so we saw that his followers were smoking ganja, So we asked him, "Are you smoking ganja also?" He said, No. I only lighten up to bless it. And then hand it over,
That's like Clinton, I don't inhale.
Yeah. Just to bless it, And we tried to preach to them, but was difficult, They're very Mayavadis, Then after a few months, I saw the same Jesus with a tie and suit, with a, he was a business, became short hair business. So what happened to you, Jesus? He said, "Oh, that's another of my pastimes now." And suddenly nice women came to hug him, Then we understood what happened. And I mean, all the city were talking about him like a self-realized soul or something. People follow all kind of people, I mean, Mexico is very popular ghost worshipping to get material things, So there was one lady. She was expert at, calling ghosts and engaging them in doing things for people. And one mafia man, he was successful in getting what he wanted, so he gifted her an apartment for free. But then after some time, the thing he got was lost. So he went to the lady, asked her to give me back the apartment. You have to vacate the apartment. Your work didn't work. It is gone. So she didn't agree to give it back. And they killed her. They killed her to get the apartment back. And she became a ghost, and she was haunting them in the apartment. I mean, this is one devotee works in reality. Realty. What do you call it? Yeah, realty, real estates. And he told me the story that things like that happen all the time, in Mexico City. They have a day they worship the dead, They call it the dead. Brazil is crazy with all these things. But I mean, once I went to Peru in Machu Picchu. You go to Machu Picchu. There the Spaniard killed a lot of Indians there. I mean, the ghosts were everywhere. Even during the day, you could sense something weird going on, you know. And some devotees were frightened, you know. They're telling me to throw myself from the cliff, you know, become a ghost like them. So that's chant Hare Krishna, you know. Don't listen to them. I mean, it's real that it happens, you know. People, they go after weak people, you know, intoxicated people, unclean people, and they try to take over their mind, you know, to enjoy their bodies, you know, some or other. So Krishna protects his devotees when they take shelter of his holy name. But I was once in New Mayapur in France, and of course it's a palace and was haunted all the time, you know. So one devotee told me that he was frightened because he saw a ghost and started chanting Hare Krishna, but the ghost was looking at him like nothing. So he asked me, why I'm still chanting Hare Krishna, the ghost doesn't go away. I said, well, maybe your chanting has to be more purer than to chant more purely, you know. I mean, there's a story of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He arrived in a town to preach, along with his son, young son, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And he arrived late at night. He wanted to wake up anybody for accommodation. So he saw an abandoned temple. He passed the night there. And while sleeping, he started to hear noises. So he woke up and he saw bricks flying, you know, like trying to attack him. Bricks. So he understood there was a ghost. So he started to chant loudly the holy name. And the disturbance stopped. Next day morning, the people welcomed him and said, where do you spend the night? That's a haunted temple. The priest died there and the place was abandoned. He became a ghost. So they asked him, how is this possible? This man was a priest there. How is that he became a ghost? And he asked, what was his character? Oh, he was a drunkard, he was a womanizer, you know. He mistreated everyone. So then he got what he deserved, you know. But if he hears the holy name from a pure Vaishnava, he will be benefited. And after that incident, there was no more disturbance in that abandoned temple. The people, that's because he heard Bhaktivinoda Thakur's chanting. He got liberated from his ghost body. So it depends on the potency of the chanter also, the effect. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi Haribo. Haribo. The thing was, one doesn't need to feel fear. One should feel sorry for them because they are disembodied soul suffering. So misery loves company. That's why they try to disturb others, because they're suffering too. So we have to be like strong in our mind, not to be afraid. Just tell them, go away, don't disturb me, go somewhere else. Haribo.